Getting closer to God. Yeah, still got issues with almost being murdered. At times still trying to justify a pistol purchase.
Okay, so you guys, what's up? I am back. I'm with my father, Jerry, aka Yaya, coming straight from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys know that I am on this journey of bringing the love back, which is called Project Bring the Love Back. I told you guys that I would be sitting down with my dad, having a real conversation, just putting out there that love is real. We can work it out, we can get through it, and we can love each other the right way.
Yes.
So, I am bringing to you live emotion, real answers and questions that my dad will be answering for you guys and for me that I never had an opportunity to talk about or say or whatever the case may be. We're just gonna go with it. I took some notes just in case I lost train of thought or whatever, but let's just start talking about it. All right. So what's your government name?
My government name is Jerry Burchett.
No middle name?
No middle name.
I never knew that. Okay. So, what's your street name?
Yeah.
I told y'all that already. So, where you born and raised? Your birth year, all of that. Give us the whole 411.
Well, I was born in 1963, Cleveland, Ohio. Father named Clyde Burchett, mother named Leona Burchett. Beautiful people.
Beautiful people.
Beautiful people.
My grandparents, who unfortunately
have passed away.
Yes, my grandma passed away before I was born, right?
Yes, she did.
So what's the story behind that?
Well, she, my mother was a church-going, God-fearing person. She had 6 kids. I got 4 other siblings. 2 older brothers and 2 sisters. And then I have my baby brother. As a matter of fact, his birthday just passed.
Happy birthday, Uncle Glenn. Hi.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to speed past all the other, history. Just want to get a little background info on you. So, what part of Cleveland did you grow up in?
I grew up on 79th and Central, between Central and Quincy. I went to Quincy Elementary, then I went to Central Junior High, and then I went to East Tech.
Did you graduate from East Tech?
No, I didn't.
What grade did you stop going to East Tech?
10th grade.
10th grade. Okay. That's intense.
Yes, 10th grade. I went to work. I left school, went to work.
So why did you decide to do that?
Money.
Money?
Yes.
Nothing but the money?
Nothing but the money.
So you felt like money was more important than education at the time, or was it something you was going through? What was?
Well, I figured, I grew up in the age of pimps, players, and hustlers. I ran numbers and I lived the street life at a very young age, 16. So I decided, my father gave me an opportunity to go to work for T&B Foundry. I worked there at the age of 17. I was making a lot of money at that time. I drove a Cadillac. I thought I was living a life.
So you was into the material things. You like that image of living a life.
Yes, I like the image of living a life because I thought that was the way it was.
Because of your environment? That's
because, yes, definitely because of the environment.
Okay. All right, so how old were you when you had your first child?
My first child, I didn't even know at the time that my wife at the time was pregnant. Like I said in the beginning, I was living the street life. So, I just came home from jail and I met her mother. We was at the Togo, matter of fact, and I told her that, you know, I just came from California. See, that's that street life in lies, you know what I'm saying? And they do catch up with you, because I told her I just came from California, but I really just came from the Justice Center. And I told, when I seen her, I said I got to have her. So at that time, you know, we got together, and plus she was older than me. She was 3 years older. All right, I lied about that too, my age. But like I say, any lies, anything in the dark always come to the light, because she found out I was younger than her, and she found out I might have went on and told her, because I already had her. I just come home from jail. But that did not stop anything, you know. So we got together, and
Good morning.
Good morning. And we had our first child, and that was my son, Jay. We got married and then found out that she was pregnant, and that's how that was.
Okay, so from my understanding, there was Nick, and then there was 2 other babies before me, also named Crystal, right? That didn't make it.
Yes, it was, no, one. It was another.
Mommy said one got stuck in her fallopian tube.
Okay, maybe so. Okay, maybe so. Good
Okay.
morning. Yeah, maybe so. One did get stuck in her fallopian tube, and then one was premature that actually was born but didn't live long. And both names was Crystal.
Okay. So how did that make you feel, being a street hustler, grinding, about that life? How did that change you when you had your children? What was life like for you after you had children?
Well, I mean, I lived a life for so long. I was young. Is that what you're saying?
I said, how did having children affect your life, your mentality, your hustling?
It didn't, because at the time I was, you know, I was misled by the misled. I was sponsored by those that was in the streets that I thought at the time that, I mean, at the time there was a lot of influence and things like that. So I just continued to live that life. I love my children's though. I always was a phone call away, or I was there, but I wasn't there, because the streets had me more than anything else. It was fast money and things like that.
Okay. So, going into that is how I pretty much know you from being a young girl. My earliest memory is Daddy being a hustler. He can't be at home because he got to make some money, and then if he ain't making money, he in jail, and we answering his calls from jail just to hear him say that he love us, but not really making a full connection of why he chose the street life over us. So at an early age, I couldn't understand, so I didn't try to understand, so I blocked you out in a way where you couldn't affect me mentally. Because when you're young and you're a female and you see other children with their fathers, you want that. And, you know, typically girls are more emotional than guys. I don't really know how Nick took it, so I won't speak for him, but it just looked like it was affecting me more than anybody else. So I put this blockage up of, well, I'll just say hi and I love him too whenever he come around. I won't ask no questions because I don't want to hear anything, because to me, nothing would be more important than your own children. So here I am trying to connect the dots, but at the same time being strong and, you know, trying to understand why certain things happen the way they do. And back then it was painful, but now, you know, in the future, I feel blessed to have had you absent because, or blessed to have had you absent because it made me grow skin that was fit to survive this cruel world, if that makes any sense. Because in a sense, I had to protect myself because I didn't feel like you were always there to protect me. Does that make sense?
That make plenty of sense, and that I can understand. And the life that I lived and things like that, I'm glad that I lived that life because it made me the person who I am today. What I thought was a beautiful thing really was real ugly, because when I lived a low life for a high price, and by saying that is, what I thought was glamour and gold really wasn't glamour and gold. It's a price to pay when you live that type of life. And just like my daughter said, in and out of jail, penitentiaries, you know what I'm saying? Just that ugly life. You know, I was raised way better than that. See, I'm like the son, the prodigy son. I'm like the son that left home to live a life that I thought was, you know, what I wanted. But then come to find out, after I got older, it wasn't the life that God had for me. But I had to go through what I had to go through to get where I'm at today.
Okay, so speaking of street life, you also, which is no secret to anybody that knows you, knows that you struggle with drug addiction.
Yes.
What are some of those drugs that you struggle with?
Well, it was cocaine. Yes, I used to sell cocaine. Like I said, I used to sell drugs. And by me doing that and asking, and always had God in my life and in my heart, I asked him why he let his people suffer so much. You know what I'm saying? And if you God, why you let these things happen? So he had to show me. So I started using the drugs, and then I understood, you know, it's an addiction. It's a craving addiction.
So Paul, so you started using drugs because of the pains of the world. You couldn't understand why with so much suffering, and for you that was hard to cope with. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I couldn't understand it. And I couldn't understand why God had let his people go through these kind of mental and physical things.
So was it just you looking at the world through your eyes, or was it happening to you personally? Was it pain and suffering that you were personally going through? Or was it other people that you saw that you wanted to help or wish you could help but you couldn't, and you just kind of inherit their pain? Was it personal or was it inherited?
It was, I kind of inherited their pain because I couldn't understand. And by me inheriting their pain, I went through what they went through. But I had to go through it for a long time. I've been off and on drugs for, let's say, 20 years, or maybe 25. The longest I had clean is 4 years, and I lost that because trying to help someone else. Because see, I couldn't really understand the 12 steps, and the 12 steps is there for a reason. And every step is there for a reason, and you have to follow those steps. And by me trying to save someone else that don't want to be saved, instead of them coming to where I am, I went right back to where I was. And it took something away. But in the process of that, I realized that I'm not God. And I realized I can't save everyone. And I realized you can't save anyone that don't want to be saved.
So what made you feel like you had to save the world? What was the first, what happened where you felt like I want to save this, or I want to do better, but I can't? Who was it? Was it one person? Like what triggered you? What triggered it?
Well, life itself. Like I said, I've been around a long time. I done seen a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And God that lives, God that lives in me, that just felt the pain for other people, and so
Wow, that's a deep thing.
Yes.
Because some people do drugs because of personal failures, or family messed up and they can't get right financially, or they just feel too much pressure to be somebody they're not. But here you are saying that I turned to drugs because I had a good family. They loved me so much, but it was so much pain in the world, and I wanted to see other people be loved like me and have that happiness, but I couldn't fix it for everybody, and that made me so sad that I started using drugs. Maybe, and then here I'm trying to put it together as I'm talking. Mm-hmm. So here you are selling drugs to people, and you watching yourself kill them. So you trying to understand their pain in that process? In a sense, because the whole bottom line is, now I still had feelings. I still have feelings for people and things like that, even though I sold drugs and things like that. I never went without anything. Like I said, I was raised by good parents. We never was hungry. We never had lights off. We took trips. You know what I'm saying? And we did a lot of things together as a family. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. What were some of the things that landed you in jail? What was your biggest? Obviously selling drugs, but I also heard that you were a pimp at one point, right?
Yeah, I was a pimp at one point. Don't forget that I grew up around pimps, players, and hustlers. So I was taught by pimps, players, and hustlers.
Were you a pimp before or after I was born?
I was a pimp before you was born. I was a pimp before I met your mother.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. See how I did that for you, Mom? See, I was in school one day, and I looked you up in the system. Because I'm like, who is this guy? Because I don't know who you really are. I know who you're supposed to be. My dad, you're the man that's supposed to hold me down and show me what real love is. But who is he behind these layers, And so I did a little research. Okay. I don't remember everything, but let's just say it was a long list. And I want to say it started when you were 14 years old, right? Was that your first crime that you committed that put you in jail at 14? You did arson or something like that?
Maybe. I think I was 14, 15 or something. But I was innocent.
You was innocent?
I was innocent.
You didn't do it?
I didn't do it. And that's just being honest. I really didn't do it. I was with the wrong people. And I don't even know if they did it or not, but I know it was a fire that was set. Uh-huh. And by the fire being set, true enough, I was at the place. And a friend, associate of mine, of ours that grew up with us, seen me coming out with some other people, and the fire was started to go, right? So, of course, I was in the barber shop. And it was matter of fact, it was my birthday. And we was drinking champagne and shit like that. Don't forget, I started off young, hustling. And
14, drinking champagne.
No, I think I'm on my 15 or something like that. Okay, still.
Right.
But anyway, we drinking champagne and things like that. Like I said, I used to run numbers, so we used to meet at the barber shop. Ace Barber Shop on 79th and Central. And he brought the police in and told him, there he go. His name is Jay Burchett, and he set the fire. I couldn't believe it. It shocked me. I'm like, he actually brought the police in here and said that I did it. So of course they didn't take me that day, but I was summoned. I had to go to court, and then once we get to court, he gonna tell me he apologized that he was gonna deny it. If I said that this other person that he did not like did it. So I said, you got to be serious, because you don't like this person And basically you don't like me either then, because you run the police, you don't know who set the fire, but it was a fire set. So I guess that was, let's say that was part of being associated with the crowd. So, you know, I got put on probation for that. You know, I could have took it all away, but when a young guy that don't know nothing about the law, being in front of a public pretender, you know, I pleaded guilty to it. Because they was like, well, if you get found guilty, you're going to do 10 years. At 14, you know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I couldn't have that one. So I pleaded guilty, so they put me on papers. Anything else?
No, actually, I didn't really memorize your history, but I do remember that, and I was like, damn, arson, what type of is he? So let's talk about two things that I specifically remember that affected me a whole lot.
Okay.
During my childhood. I guess one would say it was kind of traumatic.
Okay.
One specific incident was when you got shot.
Okay.
You came over to the house. You got patched up. You said somebody shot you in the... What happened?
Well, let me say this. This is still the part about the drugs and things like that. Yes, I was. I was shot. I was shot in the face, and 6 more times. You know, 5 more times. But let me tell you how good God is, and I know I'm here for a reason. Where the first bullet went in my face here, you can't even tell. That's how good God is. And then the guy shot 5 more times. But I mean, he's like 10 feet away, maybe 6 feet away. And the first bullet went in my face, and then the other bullets, let me tell you, you can't never tell me there's no God and there's no angels, because I seen one. The angel came and covered my whole body, the wings of the angel. Now, I ain't never seen a face. I just seen the wings of the angel that covered my body, and he shot 5 more times. Now, at this time, every bullet that came out the gun hit the wings of the angel. And it looked like metal hitting metal. And every time he shot, it was like it hit me. So I was like, reaction. You know what I'm saying? But it was really hitting the wings of the angel for what I seen. And so another associate of mine banged on the door. And when he opened up the door, before he opened up the door, he said, nah, motherfucker. Okay? So he really thought he killed me. So the other associate opened up the door and said, damn, you killed Yaya. Now, when he said that, I opened my eyes and I stood up. This happened back in 95. I still can remember it like it was yesterday. It happened back in 95. And it was January of 95 Pacific. So it was still kind of cold out and it was snowing. So when I opened my eyes, I stood up. And when I stood up, his mouth dropped open. The gun was still in his hand. And I ran out. Now, I'm running out. Now, I'm slipping and falling because, don't remember, I had no shoes on and shorts and things like that, you know. Let me back up. We stayed together. And this had to do with drugs, too. You know what I'm saying? He's selling drugs and things like that. So everything went down the middle. But it was a lot of jealousy. Okay? So anyway, I ran to neighbors' houses and things like that, you know, and banging on the door, said I was shot. Trust me, didn't nobody open up a door. So I ran back. When I seen them leaving the apartment where we stayed in and jumped in the car, I ran back to the apartment. I looked in the mirror and said, damn, he shot me in the face. Well, I knew he shot me in the face, but I thought the bullet went in this side and came out this side, but it went in here and was in the back of my head here. So I ran up the stairs to a neighbor and banged on the door, and the neighbor was like, I told the neighbor I was shot. They heard everything. So they called the ambulance, the police came. They said, do you know who he is? I said, yes. They said, do you know where he at? I said, no. But of course I did. So he went back down the way, and he told folks that he killed me. So, I have a lot of love from folks down there. So, they was like, if Yaya die, you die. He did not know that. Now, remember this. He just came home from the penitentiary for murder anyway. He could not fight, so he will shoot you in a minute. And while me being in the hospital, and people was like, the doctor was like, you're lucky. And I told the doctors, no, I'm blessed. I said, I seen an angel. And the angel spared my life. So I'm just going real quick. So when I get out the hospital, friends of mine told me to be seen in a bar and by everybody. And so what they was going to do is go where he was and kick in the door and kill everybody in there. But what I told them was, God spared my life. He didn't spare my life to give an order to take his life. So I forgive him like God forgave me. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I mean, everybody I used to tell, see, this is a true testimony that God is real. And I'm here for a reason. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, baby girl. Anything else?
Okay, so that was the backstory of what happened. But when I was little, all I saw was you come in the house with a gunshot wound to the face and out the back of your ear. If I remember correctly, my mother was actually livid that you came over there so soon after. I don't really know all the back details. I just remember mommy being extremely mad at you. Y'all got into a heated argument and you left. And all I thought was, how evil when she knows that somebody's trying to kill him. So to me, that moment meant so many things. It meant to me at a young age that my mother didn't care about you because she kicked you out and you was hurt and you needed somebody. Then it meant that I'm just waiting for this dude to die at this point. At an early age, you just kind of like, okay, now it's just a waiting game. When is he gonna die? Because if they tried it the first time, they're gonna try it again because they weren't successful. So at an early age, I was taught to just wait for you to die because that was the life you lived.
Right. And well, see, not just you was probably waiting on that. There was a lot of people thought that I was going to die. It was a lot of people that figured I wouldn't get to the age I am now. I'm 54 years old, and people...
Okay, wait. Before you go into that part, I have to say that this is where this other thing that happened to me came about.
Okay.
It was, I just got to block him out. Block him out. Because for a little girl to feel that type of pain and that type of fear is unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? That's where we start facing psychological problems, and we just start dealing with a lot because of the things that we see when we grow up.
Right.
So, okay, now you're on the block list. I love you, but I don't love you enough for when you die, it's going to kill me too.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So here's what leads to the second major event that happened. When I used to go to Mount Zion, and we used to feed the men down at the city mission.
Right.
Mind you, I've never seen you high, but I just knew what you was doing because you never hid that you was a street dude from us. You just never put it in our face. Right. So we went down to the city mission, and I was getting out the car, and my friend Sierra at the time said, "Is that your dad?" You was sitting in the front doorway of the city mission. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, that is my dad. So I ran up to you like, Daddy, you know, I'm all excited or whatever. You was stone cold gone. You didn't even know who I was at first. You had to take a step back, and you was like, what? Oh my God, what is you doing down here? You know, it was just crazy for you to see me down there. So I'm like, well, I'm here with the church because they feed the men every third Sunday, and I'm one of the volunteers this Sunday. Right. So I kind of just, when I saw you, I saw your eyes, I saw how high you were. Instantly, I went block. Right. I can't register that. I don't want to register that because I'm here to put a smile on these men's face. Right. I'm here to be happy and celebrate this Sunday with these men that are less fortunate, right? So, after all it was said and done, when I came back out, this is where I get a little bit emotional. Okay. This was real hard for me. When I came back out, you said, baby, you didn't get me no food. And I felt so bad. that all those men I put before my father. And I knew you was hungry because you was there. So you had to be hungry. But since you taught me to block you out, that's just what I did.
Right.
I didn't think about you no more after I saw you.
Right.
I blocked you out. And I told myself I was going to go in there and feed those men.
Right.
And I left you out there.
Right.
And I left you hungry. And I remember after I realized what had happened, I called JR, who was our father figure at the time.
Right.
Because he took care of us a lot of the time.
Right.
And I just broke down crying and I said, Jay, I forgot all about him. And I feel so bad because I could have gave him some food and I didn't. And I don't really remember what all JR had to say, but he said, sis, you know, you're doing the best you can. Your father is strong. He a survivor. He been in them streets all your life. So don't blame yourself. Try to forgive yourself because I know how much you love your father. And I know if you would have been if you had thought about it, you would have made him a plate, and a real big one at that.
Right.
And I was like, you're right, JR. I just hate that I've had to put him in a place where I don't even think about him after I see him.
Right.
So that was another part of my life where your lifestyle affected me in a way where I didn't want to be that person because of you.
Right.
I didn't want to not be in love with you and hold you down because of your lifestyle, because I was so scared to lose you. You know what I'm saying? So after that moment, I told myself I would take you off the block list. You know what I'm saying? Because to have another moment like that would be too dramatic for me.
Right.
I'd rather fully be there and in the moment with you than to lose you and say, I wish I woulda, coulda, woulda. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where things started to change for me in my relationship with you, where I started to open up and say, I need to love him the right way. Even if I feel like he didn't love me the right way.
Right.
I need to learn how to love him the right way because I need that to be healthy. Thinking I'm blocking you out is not healthy.
Right.
Because that moment hurt more than pretending you wasn't there. Because you were. You was there. It was real. You were hungry. You were lonely. You were by yourself in that moment, and it was real. So that kind of was the pivotal point for me. And I think, what was I, 14, 15, 16? I was between 14 and 16. I can't remember because I remember doing that for the church for high school credit.
Okay.
So I know I was in high school at the time. So that's where things really started to change for me, like I said. And I really wanted to open up to you more. And we became extremely close. And I don't know if you noticed, there was a point where I was just like, hey, Daddy, I love you too. See you later. Bye. Then there was this moment where I told you everything.
Right.
I started calling you about everything. I was calling you about this guy breaking my heart, and I'm so sad about this. And little did I know, within months we were like best friends. We were inseparable. Like everybody, anytime you came up missing, Crystal, where your daddy at? Crystal, is your daddy? Because everybody knew how close me and you had got.
Right.
And that all started when I forgave you for making me feel that way, and forgiving myself for feeling that way. So that's where, you know, our relationship bloomed and things changed. Now, to say that you didn't change,
Right.
because that love that you had for me was already there.
Right.
I just didn't know it.
Right.
Because I wasn't that close to you, right?
Right.
But your addiction was still alive and well. And your street life was too. So I always question why the streets. And I think that in the beginning of the video you kind of explained why the streets happened, but there's also a major point that was not said, is the fact that you dropped out of high school in the 10th grade, right?
Right.
So your education level wasn't there.
And then on that note right there, I just look at it as, whatever God got for you, it's gonna be there for you. True enough, I dropped out of school when I was in the 10th grade. I love money. So, of course, I'm making money. You know what I'm saying? But in the long run, you know what I'm saying? If you put money before God, you're going to lose everything anyway. Because if it ain't God put for you, then it ain't the right way, no way. So you'll lose it. But if whatever God got for you, man won't take it away.
Right.
I always made a promise. Always made a promise that I would always be there. If it ain't nothing but a phone call. You see what I'm saying? I always, when you was born, I said, when you was in an incubator, you know what I'm saying? I said I would always be there. I would be there for your graduation. Even though if I ran the streets, if I found out that you was graduating, anything that was going on that I knew about, I made sure I was there. I was there when you graduated from high school.
You was there when I graduated from middle school,
I was
high
there,
school.
middle school, high school, college, first baby, and I'm gonna walk you down the aisle. You know what I'm saying? I said I would be there. And I try to keep that no matter what I go through, whatever. But if I got a phone call, whatever I go through, you know what I'm saying? And I can go back to this, and being honest. The day that you graduated, shit, I probably was getting high that night. But I knew you was graduating, and things like that the next day. I found the strength that next day to get myself together and make it to your graduation. It was a beautiful thing.
Right.
You know
and
what
I
I'm saying?
think that's where this whole thing kind of just tying together is where I do remember, your relationship with me has taught me so many things in life. Which is why I can't be mad at your struggle, because God wanted me to see something good even in your struggle to help me grow and help me be a good person, because you've taught me that material things aren't everything. You know, you've taught me that money isn't everything, because out of anything that anybody ever bought me, I remember who was there. You know what I'm saying? And you literally have always been there. You've always been my number one fan. You've always been my number one supporter. You've always been my best friend. So that's what this whole journey is all about. Even all those shortcomings that you've had within our relationship, the bigger picture is that you've always been there. And that's what matters, because that's where your heart is. Because your demons are your demons. I don't have any control over your demons. We all have demons. We all have to fight this battle. For whatever reason, we're here. Some of us still don't know why we're here, but we know that we in a battle and we fighting.
Right.
And, you know, that's meant so much to me that you are still fighting this war, because as we do know, you relapsed multiple times.
Yes.
You lost your car, your apartment. You know, you had so many setbacks, but yet you're still here. New car, new program, new apartment coming up. You know, your battle is not over, but you still fight constantly. And there's so much respect in that from me, because you don't have a big house and fancy cars and the nice chains and the clothes, but your fight is so important, because if you can do it, I can do it. And that's the example that I believe that God wanted me to see, because there's so many times where my demons have almost took over me. You know, that a lot of, you know, we don't talk about our demons out loud. Everybody want to pretend like they don't have demons.
Right.
So, but when I'm in my moment of truth and my moment of honesty and demons are all over me, I think about you. You know, and that's huge. And you can't appreciate who people are in your life if you stay mad, or you want to regret or resent them and make them feel like they should have been there better, or they should have did more. You know, you can't appreciate the beautiful things in the story and in the struggle if you hold on to all of that bad stuff. So when it comes to me and you, I've literally wiped out all of that, and I just look at all the good. that has come from our relationship. Like, I never forget you being there for the birth of my daughter and how you constantly were saying, that's my baby, but that's her baby. That's my baby, but that's her baby. So to me, it's so much genuineness in you that constantly want everybody to know how much you love me. And you have Nick too as well.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm just talking about our relationship.
Right.
You want everybody to know how much you love me, and I love that. And it has given me, honestly, a heart of gold. I feel like, there's so many things that are wrong with me, but the right things, I think I learned from you. I don't know if you ever knew that.
That's all right, boo.
I love your spirit. I love your fight. And I look up to you. And you don't have to have a whole lot of money, and you don't have to be perfect, but you still a great guy to me. You still my hero, and I love you. You so perfect to me. Even in your imperfections, even in your struggle, even in your darkest hours, you are perfect to me. And I'm so glad that you're my father. And I wouldn't trade you for the world.
Thank you. I love you too, boo.
I know you do.
And then the thing is, ain't nothing I won't do for you. All us have to leave here one day. And since this on video and things like that, all us have to leave here one day.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, God gonna call me home. And I just want you to know, if I never get a chance to say it again, I love you.
I know.
I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
You are a strong black woman. You doing things in your life. You don't sit down. You don't wait for no one. You a go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
Like your daddy.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And if I ever leave here, you know what I'm saying, I will always be with you.
I know.
In your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the material things I can have and things like that, I would never be able to take with me. But one thing for sure that I can take with me is the love that I have for you, and the love you have for me, the love I have for my son, and the love he has for me.
Right.
I can take that with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And all this other stuff will be going to pass. Because God is love.
Right.
And if I can, and he gonna let me take that love with me, and the love that's gonna always be in your heart for me, even when I live here. When I leave here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know one day, but I know it ain't today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
We pray it ain't today.
We pray it ain't today. Lord, please, Lord.
I still gotta get married.
Yeah, and I still gotta walk you down the aisle, and I still got to dance at your wedding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to do all that.
Right.
Because I made that promise. God gonna let me see it through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We can go on and on and on and on and on about things that we've been through or whatever, but those are the major things that I wanted to bring up because there was pain in that, but after that pain came joy, and here we are today celebrating life. We just celebrating right now. We've been through so many dark times and hard times, but this is our year of celebration, and we thank God that we have hung on to each other.
Number one.
He never let me go. I never let him go, and in the process, it's always been forgiveness. Forgiving each other when we fall short, and instead of pointing a finger, we just decide to pour love into one another, to be there when we need each other, and not being able to show our real emotions. We don't have to hide that we are in pain. We don't have to hide that we come up short a lot of the time, because God gave us family for a reason. We're just here to celebrate each other, celebrate life, and just love on each other. We never know when it's gonna be our last day, so honestly, I'm just here to live every moment like it's my last, and just love as hard as I know how, and as much as I can.
Deliver us from the shadows of the ungodly. Freedom, 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 freedom. March, march, march along to redemption zone. Freedom, 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 freedom.
I rise in the morning, hit my knees and take it up one time.
child.